I used to believe that looking younger meant erasing evidence of time. So I kept my hair careful, controlled, acceptable. And you know what happened? I became a ghost. The irony is this. The moment I stopped trying to look younger and started choosing what made me feel powerful, that's when people started saying I looked radiant. Younger, even. Not because I reversed time, but because I stopped apologizing for it. The 5 hairstyles in this video aren't about chasing youth. They're about reclaiming presence. And that's the real secret nobody tells you. So let me be really honest with you about why you're here. You looked in the mirror this morning, or maybe last week, and you felt invisible. Not because your face changed, but because somewhere along the way, you started disappearing. Your hair became this safe, practical thing that doesn't cause problems, doesn't attract attention, doesn't ask for anything. And you told yourself that's what being 60 means. That's what being mature looks like. But here's what's actually happening. You've been lied to. The beauty industry has spent decades convincing women over 60 that their job is to fade gracefully into the background. That flattering means forgettable. That age-appropriate means invisible. And I'm here to tell you something that might make you uncomfortable at first, but I need you to hear it. The reason you think you look old has almost nothing to do with your age and everything to do with the haircut you've been hiding behind. I've watched this happen thousands of times. A woman walks in with a hairstyle that's been the same for 10, 15, 20 years. Short, neat, safe, helmet-like. And she says the same thing every time. Just clean it up. Don't do anything dramatic. I just want to look nice. And what she's really saying is, please don't make me visible. Please don't make me too much. Please let me stay small. But here's the truth that changes everything. Looking younger isn't about reversing time. It's about reversing invisibility. And the 5 hairstyles I'm about to share with you do exactly that. They're not magic. They're not going to erase your life or turn back the clock. But they will give you back something you've lost, presence. The feeling of walking into a room and knowing you belong there. The experience of catching your reflection and thinking, there I am, instead of who is that. And if you're ready for that shift, if you're ready to stop apologizing for taking up space, then stay with me. Because what I'm about to show you isn't just about hair. It's about permission. Before we dive into the specific hairstyles, I need you to understand something fundamental. Your hair doesn't care about the rules you've been following. It doesn't know that someone, somewhere decided that women over 60 should have short, practical, invisible hair. Your hair wants to move. It wants volume. It wants texture and life and dimension. But for years, maybe decades, you've been cutting it into submission because that's what you thought you were supposed to do. And every time you make it smaller, safer, more controlled, you age yourself. Not because short hair is bad, but because hair without life looks lifeless. And lifeless hair makes your whole face look tired. So here's the first principle I need you to absorb. Volume is youth. I know that sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's the most powerful anti-aging tool you have, and most women are doing the exact opposite. As we age, our hair naturally loses density and thickness. That's just biology. So what do most women do? They cut it shorter and flatter, thinking that less hair means less problem. But what actually happens is this. Your hair lies flat against your scalp, creating harsh shadows around your face, emphasizing every line, every hollow, every place where gravity has pulled things down. You end up looking more tired, more drawn, more aged than you actually are. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine hair that lifts at the crown, that creates height and movement and light. Suddenly, your face looks lifted too. Your cheekbones look higher. Your eyes look brighter. Your whole face softens because there's this cushion of volume framing it instead of this flat, harsh helmet pressing it down. That's what these 5 hairstyles have in common. They all prioritize lift at the crown. They all create volume where you need it most. And that single shift can take 10 years off your appearance without you doing anything else. The second thing you need to understand is texture. For years, you've probably been trying to make your hair smooth and sleek and perfect, because that's what looks polished in magazines. But here's the paradox. Smooth, sleek hair can actually age you. And I know that sounds backward, so let me explain. When your hair is perfectly smooth, it reflects light in one uniform direction. There's no dimension, no variation, no play of shadow and light. And on a real human face, especially a face with character and life and experience, that uniformity looks severe. It looks hard. It emphasizes every angle instead of softening them. But when you add texture, layers that move differently, pieces that catch light from multiple angles, a little bit of intentional messiness, everything changes. Texture creates dimension. Dimension creates softness. And softness makes you look approachable, warm, alive. The irony is this. The messier your hair looks in a controlled and intentional way, the younger you appear. Because youth isn't about perfection. Youth is about movement and spontaneity and not being so damn controlled all the time. So if you've been fighting your natural texture, straightening out every wave, smoothing down every piece that doesn't behave, you're working against yourself. Your texture is your friend. It's time to let it do its job. Now let me tell you about asymmetry, because this is where most women get really nervous. You've been told your whole life that balance is flattering, that symmetry is elegant, that everything should be even and predictable and safe. But symmetry is boring. It's what your brain expects, which means it doesn't register. You walk into a room with a perfectly symmetrical haircut, and people's eyes slide right past you because there's nothing to catch their attention. But asymmetry, a deeper side part, layers that are longer on one side, bangs that sweep dramatically across your forehead. Asymmetry creates visual interest. It makes people look twice. It says, I'm not playing it safe. I'm not trying to disappear. And that energy, that boldness, that willingness to be a little unexpected is inherently youthful. I want to pause here and tell you about a woman I worked with years ago. I'm going to call her Maria, though that's not her real name. Maria was 62 when she came to see me, and she had the same haircut she'd worn for 2 decades. A short, neat bob that framed her face like a helmet. Very controlled, very safe, very invisible. And when I asked her what she wanted, she said exactly what I expected. Just clean it up. Don't do anything dramatic. I just want to look nice. But then I asked her a different question. I said, Maria, when was the last time someone stopped you on the street to compliment your hair? And she just stared at me. She couldn't remember. It had been years, maybe a decade. And in that moment, something shifted in her face. Because she realized that her hair wasn't protecting her from anything. It was erasing her. So we made a bold choice together. We gave her layers. Real layers with texture and movement. We added volume at the crown. We created an asymmetrical side part that swept across her forehead. And when she looked in the mirror, she cried. Not because she looked younger, though she did, but because she looked like herself again. The version she had forgotten existed. The version that wasn't apologizing for being there. Within a week, 3 different strangers complimented her hair. Her daughter told her she looked happy. Her husband said she seemed lighter, more present. And Maria realized something profound. She hadn't been hiding her age. She'd been hiding herself. That's what these 5 hairstyles do. They don't hide you. They reveal you. And I'm going to walk you through each one, explain who they work for, why they work, and how to style them so they actually fit into your real life. Because here's the thing. A hairstyle that looks great in a photo but takes an hour to style every morning is useless. You need cuts that work with your texture, your lifestyle, and your willingness to fuss. So let's get specific. The first hairstyle is what I call the textured pixie with volume. This is for women with fine to medium hair and oval or heart-shaped faces. If you've been told that pixie cuts are too short or too edgy or too young, I need you to forget that right now. A pixie cut, when done right, is one of the most powerful, youthful, feminine haircuts you can wear. But here's the key. It has to have texture and volume. Not a sleek, close-cropped pixie that hugs your head like a cap. That ages you. You want short on the sides, but voluminous and choppy on top. Layers that move. Pieces that stick up a little bit. Hair that has life and personality. Why does this work? Because the volume at the crown lifts your entire face. It draws the eye upward, which makes your features look more lifted and open. The short sides create a clean line that emphasizes your cheekbones and jawline in a flattering way. And the texture on top keeps everything soft and approachable instead of severe. To style it, you use a volumizing mousse at the roots while your hair is still damp. Then you blow dry upside down to get maximum lift. Once it's dry, you use your fingers to tousle and separate the pieces on top. No combing. No smoothing. You want it to look a little messy, a little undone, because that messiness is what makes it youthful. The second hairstyle is the asymmetrical bob with side-swept bangs. This one is perfect for medium to thick hair and round or square faces. If you have a bob right now but it feels heavy or boring or like it's aging you, this is probably why. It's too symmetrical. Both sides are the same length, everything is even and predictable, and your brain just tunes it out. But when you make one side longer than the other, Let's say one side grazes your chin while the other sits above your ear. You create this diagonal line that elongates your face and adds instant interest. The side-swept bangs are the secret weapon here. They soften your forehead, cover any lines you're self-conscious about, and draw attention to your eyes. But here's the important part. These bangs have to sweep, not hang. They have to move across your forehead, not sit there like a curtain. To style this cut, you blow-dry the longer side with a round brush, pulling it forward slightly so it curves toward your face. The shorter side you can let air dry for a more natural, textured look. The contrast between the polished longer side and the casual shorter side is what makes this cut so dynamic. It says, I put in effort, but I'm not trying too hard. And that balance is magnetic. The third hairstyle is the layered shag, and this is my personal favorite for women with wavy or curly hair. If you have natural texture and you've been fighting it your whole life, trying to straighten it or smooth it or make it behave, this cut is going to set you free. The shag is all about layers, lots of them, at different lengths, creating this incredible movement and dimension. It looks effortless, like you woke up beautiful, and that ease is inherently youthful. Because youth isn't about perfection. It's about looking like you're not trying that hard. The key to a good shag is that the layers have to be choppy and varied. Not blunt. Not uniform. You want some pieces shorter, some longer, some that frame your face, some that fall away. It should look a little wild, a little unpredictable. And if you have wavy or curly hair, this cut makes your texture the star instead of something you have to manage or hide. To style it, you apply a texturizing spray to damp hair, scrunch it to enhance your natural wave or curl, and then let it air dry. That's it. No blow drying. No straightening. You embrace the chaos. And that chaos makes you look alive. The fourth hairstyle is the blunt lob with blunt bangs. Lob means long bob. It hits somewhere between your chin and your shoulders. This cut works beautifully for thick, straight hair and long or angular faces. If you have a lot of hair and you feel like it's weighing you down or making you look bottom-heavy, the blunt cut is your answer. Instead of thinning out the ends and making your hair wispy, you keep them blunt and heavy. That weight creates fullness and makes your hair look incredibly healthy and abundant. Like you have more hair than you actually do. The blunt bangs add a whole other level of impact. They hide your forehead, which can be a source of insecurity as fine lines develop there. But more importantly, they draw all the attention to your eyes. Suddenly, your eyes become the focal point of your face instead of anything else you're worried about. To style this, you blow dry straight with a paddle brush, pulling it smooth but not flat. You want it to have body and shine. Finish with a shine serum to make it gleam. This cut is bold and graphic and statement-making. It says, I know exactly who I am. The fifth hairstyle is the curly crop, and this is for women with naturally curly or coily hair who have been told their whole lives to relax it, straighten it, or tame it. If that's you, I need you to hear this. Your curls are not a problem to solve. They're a gift. And this cut celebrates them instead of fighting them. The curly crop is short, think chin length or above, but the curls give it volume and personality that longer hair could never achieve. It's manageable, it's powerful, and it's unapologetically you. Why does this work across all face shapes? Because curls create their own dimension and softness. They don't need layers to add movement. The movement is built in. The key is keeping the length short enough that the curls don't weigh themselves down, but long enough that you still have shape and volume. To style, you use a curl-defining cream on wet hair, scrunch to encourage the curl pattern, and let it dry naturally. Then you fluff at the roots for extra lift. That's it. No fighting. No forcing. Just letting your hair be what it wants to be. Now here's the truth that ties all 5 of these hairstyles together: confidence. I can give you the perfect cut for your face shape, your hair texture, your lifestyle. But if you're still walking around apologizing for existing, if you're still shrinking and hiding and trying to make yourself smaller, the haircut won't save you. I've seen women get the most incredible transformations and still hide behind them because they're terrified of being too much. Too bold. Too visible. Too anything. But youth isn't about looking small. Youth is about taking up space. It's about walking into a room like you belong there. It's about making eye contact and smiling and not apologizing for the sound of your voice or the width of your shoulders or the fact that you exist. The hairstyles that make you look 10 years younger are the ones you wear with your shoulders back and your head high, because that posture changes everything. It changes how light hits your face. It changes how people perceive you. It changes how you perceive yourself. So here's what I want you to do. Look at these 5 hairstyles and notice which one makes your heart beat a little faster. Not the one that feels safest. Not the one you think you should choose. The one that scares you a little bit. The one that feels like too much. That's probably the one you need. Screenshot it. Save it to your phone. And the next time you're at the salon, show it to your stylist. Don't ask if it will work. Don't apologize for wanting it. Tell them this is what you want to try. Your permission is the only permission you need. Let's bring this home. You came here because you wanted to look younger. But what we've really been talking about is something deeper. How to stop disappearing. How to reclaim the space you've been apologizing for. How to choose a hairstyle not because it's safe or acceptable or what someone else thinks you should have, but because it's you. Because it makes you feel powerful. Because when you look in the mirror, you recognize the person staring back. These 5 hairstyles aren't magic tricks. They don't reverse time. They don't erase your life or your experience or the evidence of everything you've lived through. But they do something more important. They reverse invisibility. They give you back your presence. They remind the world, and more importantly, they remind you that you're still here. That you still matter. That you still deserve to be seen. The transformation isn't in the mirror. It's in your bones. It happens the first time you walk into a room and don't immediately look for the nearest corner to hide in. It happens when someone compliments you and you say thank you instead of deflecting or diminishing or apologizing. It happens when you stop waiting for permission to take up space and you just take it because it was always yours. So here's your mantra. I want you to say this with me out loud if you can. I am not fading. I am not done. I am not apologizing for taking up space. My hair is not a disguise. It's a declaration. Say it again. I am not fading. I am not done. I am not apologizing. Say it until you believe it. Because the moment you stop hiding behind age appropriate and start choosing what makes you feel powerful, that's when everything changes. If this resonated with you, if something shifted while you were watching, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button so I know this message landed. Drop a comment and tell me which hairstyle you're going to try first, or share your own story of a haircut that changed how you felt about yourself. I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you want more of this real, honest, no-nonsense beauty wisdom that actually respects who you are and where you've been, hit that subscribe button. Because I'm not here to make you smaller. I'm not here to teach you how to disappear. I'm here to remind you how powerful you've always been. Now I want you to do one more thing before you go. Go look in the mirror. Not to criticize. Not to pick apart everything you think is wrong. Just to see yourself. Really see yourself. You're still here. After everything you've been through, every loss, every disappointment, every moment you thought you couldn't keep going, you're still here. And that is everything. Your hair is just hair. But the woman underneath it? She's extraordinary. And it's time she got a haircut that reflects that. Now go. Be bold. Be visible. Be you.